All right, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. This is Jeremy Shapiro with FuseDesk, and we're kicking off our latest FuseDesk Customer Mastermind call. We've got a pretty exciting agenda today, and I'm really excited you're here with us because we've got some great new things in the works, as well as a number of things that we've rolled out that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. So our agenda today is we're going to be covering FuseDesk and WordPress. We've got a great new WordPress integration we released end of last month, actually, just before InfusionCon. We've got a great new template editor we recently rolled out at the same time. We're also going to go over email template best practices. Folks often ask, what's the best way to use templates, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to show a really cool ninja little trick on how to do some universal footers and promos. This is one of those things that, as I shared with people individually, they said, "Jeremy, that's awesome! Like, you should tell more people." So I will do that today. I'll also share with you our new notification system. We'll discuss ratings and feedback and give you guys a sneak peek of what's coming along those lines. And we'll cover your questions and best practices. So by a quick show of hands, if you click the little hand raise icon, who's here on their first mastermind call with us ever here? Go ahead and click the hand raise icon. Cool. Awesome. So for those of you joining us for the first time, we like to keep these interactive and fun. So instead of having a boring PowerPoint, this is actually, I'll show you over here. This is a 2-slide presentation, 1 slide, 2 slide, done. So this is the last slide I have for you. Everything else is all live and in-app, and we'll actually be doing things, live on the screen. This is also interactive and a place to share. So if you've got a cool idea or a technique or something that you're using, I would love to hear about that. So by all means, everyone's found the hand raise icon. Go ahead and pop over to where you see you have a box to ask questions. On the question side, go ahead and just type in, tell me where you're from, where you're connecting in from, what part of the world, to show me you found a questions box. Because this is what we're going to be using to see what questions you have, so I can make sure we answer those. And I'll be asking questions throughout as well. So when we're looking for feedback and a bit of interaction, go ahead and type one in here. And if at any point you've got a question, I would love to hear that, as well as any sort of ideas and best practices. So with that, I want to welcome Ben here from California. Sarah, welcome all the way in from Stockholm, Sweden. We have Amber in Vegas, and we've got Shayla in Kansas. We've got Amuna in Colorado, Lisa in Denver, right nearby there. John in Seattle, Mary from Illinois. We got Pamela from Arizona. We've got Parmi and Rebecca from the UK. Thanks for joining us this evening, guys. We have Andy coming from Springfield, one of our Infusionsoft Marketer of the Year finalists. For those of you at InfusionCon, you got to see Andy. We've got Farish from Nashville, Ralph from Washington, David from the UK, and that's where I'm going to stop reading the list. I could go on all morning, but those were the first folks who got back to us. So welcome, guys. So I'm curious, by quick show of hands, who has a WordPress membership site? Go ahead and raise your hand if you have a WordPress membership site. Cool. What plugin do you use? If you can go ahead and type in the question box, what plugin do you use to turn your WordPress site into a membership site? Typical plugins we see, iMember360. Yep. Some folks still have Wishlist. Good. iMember360, IM360. Awesome. Typically, if you're using Infusionsoft and you have a membership site, you're going to be using mostly iMember360 or Wishlist. You really can use anything out there. The reason most folks use those is it integrates beautifully with Infusionsoft. What we mean by that is when somebody logs into your membership site, it's actually reaching into Infusionsoft, finding out who they are, and you're able to they're able to log in, and you can have pages based on the different membership level, like silver, gold, platinum members see different pages, and all sorts of things like that. So by a quick show of hands, who has a continuity program? So your customers are paying you every month for access to information or a service. Cool. Good. Now, the wonderful thing about continuity is when you have a continuity program in your business, this is a great way to have customers who are paying you every single month, typically for access to information, or if you have an information product or a service that's ongoing. The cool thing about a membership site is it lets your members log in and get the training information if you're doing an information product or anything along those lines. Now, what this means is where it used to be, people might sign up for a book of the month or a DVD of the month, CD of the month. With a continuity program and a membership site, this now lets your customers pay you for access to the information, but you're now not dealing with physical goods and shipping them out. So, membership sites are very powerful that way. To give you an idea, iMember 360 is the one that I use. I probably have dozens of iMember 360 installations across dozens of different domain names. The two big plugins that I like to use that sort of set up my membership site or set up my WordPress sites are either iMember 360 for any time we're doing a membership continuity program, and the other plugin I love if we're doing more of a sales pages and order flows is we use OptimizePress. And look at that, OptimizePress has a members only. So those are two great ones to write down if you're not using those. iMember 360 by ResponseFlow, Bob Keane and his team is fantastic. Someone's talking. Thanks. And OptimizePress for all of our landing pages and sales pages. So jot those two down. I'm going to go ahead and close those out. Cool. So when you have WordPress, the plugin we developed was meant to do two really important things. One is we wanted to make it super easy for your members when they go ahead and log in to see the cases that they have. FuseDesk by design, we didn't want to have a whole self-help portal as part of FuseDesk because that now requires your customers to log in and use the system. It was important for FuseDesk from the beginning that we keep it easy for your customers to simply email you or call you and get great support. But we had some customers who said, hey, Jeremy, we've got membership sites. It'd be really cool if our customers could see what cases they have open. And secondly, is previously when we had, when you want to open a new case, the way that we'd handle that is we would show you in our help docs we have on FuseDesk how to go ahead and create a web form. And that would allow customers to contact you via a web form and open a new FuseDesk case. While very functional and worked very well, we said, now that we have our API, wouldn't it be cool if we had a more powerful way and an easier way to have a new case creation form? So it was with those two pieces, allowing customers to see their cases and allowing customers to open new cases, that we created our FuseDesk for WordPress integration. So I'm going to do a quick little walkthrough here of how that actual installation process works. If this is a little techie or over your head, that's okay. We're going to be recording this video, putting it online. You can share this with your tech person who does your implementations or your WordPress sites. For those of you who deal with plugins all day, this will be a walk in the park. So let's take a look at what this is like. From our plugins over here, if we're logged into a WordPress site, this is a little testbed site I have. We can click on Add New to add a new plugin. Now, once you click on Add New, you'll be able to search the marketplace for plugins. So all we do is we type in FuseDesk after we've clicked on Add New Plugin in WordPress, and we do search plugins. Now, keep in mind, this is not FuseDesk. We're actually logged into a WordPress site. All right, so you'll find FuseDesk, and you'll see Integrate with FuseDesk. You'll see my name there, and all you do is you click on Install Now. Say OK to install that. We've gone ahead, and now it's successfully installed the plugin, and all we do is we activate the plugin. Now, one of the things we do that's really powerful is if you already have iMember installed, what we can do is we can actually go ahead and detect that, and when we go into our settings, FuseDesk for WordPress, we click on Settings. Once we're in there, this goes and pre-fills in the information we have for a membership site. So let's go ahead and we'll use this application name. Now, again, if you already have a site like a Wishlist or iMember 360, we'll be able to pull up your application name, and we'll be able to help you to get an API key. So once you have your app name saved in here, you'll have the option to get an API key. Now, this is really neat. Instead of making you jump through hoops and giving you a walkthrough of how to do it, we built into FuseDesk with our API keys a way for you to seamlessly move from screen to screen. So for application name, we have it filled in. We simply click on Get API Key. This will now take us out of WordPress. This will bring us into our FuseDesk application, and it'll tell us in this green box that your website would like an API key for use at this domain name. You can click Cancel, or we've pre-filled this in with all the permissions you'll need. And we simply go ahead right next to the right arrows here, click Add API Key for your site. You'll notice there's no copying and pasting. We're simply you click, click, click right on through. And look, we've pre-filled this in. And as soon as we save our changes here, what happens is this gives us a few more options. Now, when someone creates a new case on your WordPress site, the question is going to be, what department do you want this to go into? So you can choose, these are your departments pulling in live from your FuseDesk account. So we can go ahead and say when someone uses the Contact Us form, we're going to go ahead and assign it to the support department. We can then choose what rep gets the case. You can assign the case directly to an individual representative, or you can have this set up to assign to a random rep in your default department. So we go ahead and save changes. And all of our help docs that we have, all the help docs that we need are right here as part of the plugin on this page. And we show you the most basic usage. Getting started, here are those two things I said we're looking for. One is to allow folks to create a new case, and secondly is allow them to view their cases. And that's all you need are these two little shortcodes for your WordPress site. Now, if you want to get fancy, we've got some really cool advanced options. I'm not going to delve into those today, but we explain all those right here in the help docs on this page for your options. That lets you see exactly how to configure and make this stuff more personalized. So great. Now we've gone ahead. We've configured our settings. We've saved those. Now what's that going to look like? Well, it lets us do a few things. We'll now need to create a page, for example, a Contact Us page. Now, a Contact Us page might look something like this. We can go ahead, for example, and say submit a support request. And just as an example, I'm going to bundle these two on one page. Normally, you go ahead and separate these out. You'd have one page for logged in members only, another page for for Contact Us. Okay. Again, just for testing, I have these both on one page here. Now we have our two codes here. One is the FuseDesk new case short code. And again, if you're not sure how to work with short codes or do any of this, just share this video with whoever does your tech or your WordPress site. And short codes are real easy for them to use. They just drop them in just like this. Okay. The second thing is for my cases, we can go ahead and do FuseDesk my cases. So let's go ahead and save this page. Now, once we have saved that page, WordPress will tell you the page has been updated. Now, for someone visiting your site, they'll see something like this. They'll see FuseDesk case form, and because that's the name of the page that I have right here. I can call it whatever I want, like Contact Us. And it says, submit a support request. Now, I happen to be logged into this particular site. And so instead of asking for name and email and phone, we already know all that. So we can simply go ahead and say, how can we help you? And we can say, I need to know how to upgrade my membership to Platinum. Whatever, right? We go ahead, we create a support case. Dynamically, this goes ahead, submits the case behind the scenes, tells the case has been created, and says we'll get back to you shortly. That's not fancy. You're getting a sneak peek of something we're covering later. All right. So the case has been created, and this then says, we'll get back to you shortly. Now, if we had support cases, this would go ahead and show those here. So let's take a look at what this form looks like. Now that we've created a support case, check this out. Here it now shows under My Cases. It shows their case number, the date the case was last updated, the status of the case, and a brief summary for that, in this case, support request. Anytime your customers are emailing you or doing things like that, that'll all come in here. And so what we've done is with these two simple short codes, the new case and My Cases, we've now built your customers a way to open new cases as well as view their cases. If you like that, if you think that's cool and you plan to implement that, go ahead and click the hand raise icon because I'd love to see which sites this is being installed on so we can get your feedback. Cool. Nice. So yeah, it's as simple, like I mentioned, as you go into your plugins, add a new plugin, you choose FuseDesk from the shop, install it, activate, and then just follow the prompts right through for your API key, no copying and pasting needed. And you'll have a way for customers to open new cases as well as view their existing cases. Any questions about the WordPress integration before I move on from here? Cool. We had one question in terms of Customer Hub, any plans for integration with Customer Hub? The answer is yes. If you're not using a WordPress site, you do have a membership site, there's a good chance you're using Customer Hub. So we do have an API that we built out earlier this year that's allowed us to do this plugin. And because of that, we're able to leverage that and use that in more places than just WordPress. So yes, we have Customer Hub integration in the works. And if there are other membership systems that you're using, let us know. It'd be helpful for us. That way we know where to build out to take care of your needs. So cool. All right, let's move on from the WordPress plugin and move on to the template editor. All right. Now, previously, if you've been using FuseDesk for more than about 3 weeks, then you're used to every time you want to edit a template that you go into Infusionsoft and you create a new template right inside of Infusionsoft. While that's functional and that works and that leverages the full power of Infusionsoft, sometimes you just want to make a quick change to a template or easily create a template or create a default template without leaving FuseDesk. And so what we did is we actually built a template editor right into FuseDesk, so you can manage your templates right from one place. So to access your template editor, all you do is you click on My Preferences, and then you click on Templates on the left-hand side here. Now, if this is your first time ever logging in and you don't have a default template, we'll prompt you to create your first ever default template for FuseDesk right from here. Now, again, we're pulling all your templates right from Infusionsoft, so you can leverage and reuse templates you already have. But sometimes you want to come in here and just clone a template. So when we get into talking about template best practices, we're going to use this quite a bit. So what I'd like to do is sort of combine our discussion on email template best practices with our preview of the new template editor. Now, when using FuseDesk, one of the really powerful ways to save your staff time, help them be more efficient with how they're doing their day-to-day case management, and take really great care of your customers, is to use templates. Templates do a few powerful things. One is it allows you on a good day when you have time for it to write out a really great response to one of your most frequently asked questions. Then, when it's a busy Monday morning and your staff is slammed with support cases, they can simply access a well-written template that fully addresses a support case without having to, hey, look at that. You're getting sneak previews of notifications. Without having to, go ahead and write it from scratch. So for example, if we were to go ahead and create a new template here, a frequently asked question might be, I wasn't able to log in. So all we do is we change this name to something like FAQ, unable to log in. And we can say something like, thank you for your email. So sorry to hear you're having trouble logging in. This can sometimes be due to an invalid password, but is more likely this can sometimes be due to an invalid password, is more likely due to, I don't know, your cookies, right? To update, and we can go on, right? And now we can write out our long paragraph email here with all the information on how to log in, your username, your password, how to clear your cookies, make sure you go into the right URL. Whatever else you'd have in here, you simply just go ahead and type it out. And this gives me a nice long response. So now we simply go ahead and do save as a new template. It fills in the name we have here. FAQ, unable to log in. Template saved, all right. So now what we can do is we can do another FAQ. So an exercise that I like to do is, as we're onboarding new FuseDesk customers, is ask the team, what are like the 10 to 20 most frequently asked questions you get? So a good piece of homework to write down for after our call today is to get with your team and actually write down the top 10 to 20 most frequently asked questions you get. Because typically, 80% of your support cases are all about the same thing. And 20-ish% are the unique one-off special circumstances. In your business, that may be 95.5. And so by creating a good template, it's going to let your team work much faster and more easier. Now, with a template, we can do a few powerful things. We can use Infusionsoft merge fields, like you see we have the contact first name, we can use that, as well as any other custom fields or any other fancier merge fields you might have. Automation links and all that. So we could actually go ahead and fill in, for example, their username and password. Now, if you're using something like iMember, this is really helpful because if somebody can't log in, it's sort of helpful to let them know something like, to log in, please visit mysite.com. Enter in the following, click login, right? So we can go on and continue to build that out, right? Now, that can just go from there. We can create a nice big template, right? So when we have this template, we can go ahead and use that to send out to customers to help them log in, right? You might have a common question that comes in, which is, how do I cancel, right? I want to cancel my membership, cancel my whatever. Well, if you have a template that properly addresses the cancellation request, you can sometimes save a sale, downgrade a customer, upgrade a customer, and actually work with them to save sales simply by having the right template in place, right? So if you write down your top 10 to 20 most frequently asked questions, this will empower your team to work more efficiently and take better care of your customers. And in many cases, helps you to keep your members with you longer by taking great care of them and saving them when they're looking to cancel, saving your refund requests when they come in, and starting to standardize how you go about doing business. That way it's not just about Bob's had a rough Monday morning and he just grumpily gets back to a customer and says, "You've been canceled," whereas he could have had a much better email back. So your homework is write down your top 10 to 20 most frequently asked questions, come into the template editor here and actually create FAQs for all of this. So I have some questions coming in. Let me take a quick look at these. And I thank you guys for your questions. All right. We have a question. If you're migrating over to FuseDesk and you currently have templates somewhere else, yeah, this is where you actually go ahead and come into FuseDesk and actually create those templates right here. All right, somebody had a question. How do we separate marketing templates from support templates? I wish there was a folder in templates that could designate just for FuseDesk. Yes. Okay, so Amber, that is a great question, and we do fully support that. So let me just hop into Infusionsoft real quick here. If you're managing your templates inside of Infusionsoft, you have your General tab, and next to that you have your categories and follow-up sequences. And just so you know, we got there by going under Marketing, and we click over on Templates underneath Marketing. Okay. Look at that. There's that FAQ I just created called Unable to Log In. So when we edit that, we can actually manage the categories. And I have, I have my own category set up. You'll have your own. And to configure exactly how those are, let's go under our marketing settings. So we just went up here to the Infusionsoft logo up top, and we went to settings underneath the marketing tab. Okay. Once we're there, we go over to our template defaults. And under template defaults is where we can create our different categories. So we can call this support templates, billing templates. Don't you guys love watching me type? Cool. So we have support FuseDesk, billing FuseDesk, and affiliate FuseDesk. I chose those because those are the three categories I have. So we go ahead and we click on Save on that. And let's go over to our templates. And we go to our FAQ, Unable to Log In. We go to our categories. And let's choose Support FuseDesk for that one. Okay? So all I did is while editing a template, I went over to Categories and Follow-Up, and I chose what category to put that in. And I chose Save. So what this will let you do is start to organize your different templates. So now I'm over here. And let's go ahead and do a new template. So let's do FAQ upgrade. That's great news that you're looking to upgrade your account. To do so, all right, we go ahead and we give them some more information, right? And again, write out a nice, good response here. We do save as new template. We put that there, and our template is saved. Now, if we go back to our templates, you'll see upgrades over here. I can now go ahead and put this, for example, in my billing. And now all we're doing is we're managing the different categories these templates are in. And we just synced up our templates back to Infusionsoft. So I'll show you what that means in just a second. Any other questions on template categories or using the template editor before I move on from here? Okay, cool. So you can still go ahead and type questions. We'll get to those in just a second. So let's hop back over to my inbox. And let's go and, let's work with an open case. This is a test application. We've got lots of fun sandbox stuff in here. So when we come down to our template categories, let's see. Notice the template categories we just created. We have support FuseDesk, billing FuseDesk, and there's nothing in affiliates FuseDesk, but if we created templates there, you'd see it. So when I go ahead and choose support FuseDesk, what that'll do is give me just the templates in that category. I choose billing FuseDesk. That gives me just the templates in that category. Notice the templates we just created and we put in those categories are now here within these different menus. So instead of your staff having to wade through 1,000 different templates, they simply come in here, they choose the template they're looking for, the template category rather, and then they can choose which template they want to go ahead and use. Now, I should point out, just from an organizational standpoint, you absolutely can have a template in multiple categories. Okay, all you do is you just multi-select the categories, click Save, and that'll allow that case to show up in multiple categories. So good. Any other questions on templates or template categories before we move on? While those questions come in, I want to point out something really neat. By a quick show of hands, who's used automation links before in Infusionsoft templates? Automation links. If you've used automation links, go ahead and click on the little hand raise. Cool. All right, this is very powerful. So here we have someone saying they want to upgrade their account. We can go ahead, we can choose a link, and this will pop up our little link screen here, right? We can go ahead and create what's called an automation link. Now, creating the automation link gives us this little pop-up here, and we could do account upgrade. We could put in link to my order form, come back, fill it in later on, and we can do save. Now, this is super powerful. What we can do is we can now attach actions to this automation link. All I did is I chose links, I scrolled down to automation links, I chose create link, and this is where I'm getting to the screen to actually manage this. Okay, now I can do things like apply a tag. We'll create a new one. Upgrade, clicked upgrade link. Cool. So now what I've just done is I've said, here's a link I want to put into an email, and when a customer clicks that link, I want to tag them as clicked upgrade link. Maybe I want to create an opportunity record. Make sure the customer upgraded. There we go. Maybe I want to start or stop a follow-up sequence. So all I'm doing is just stacking up different actions that I want to take place when someone clicks this link. Okay. Now I can get even fancier and choose to place some details about the person at the end of the URL. So I might go ahead and do first name, last name, email, and I'll share with you a great example of where I use this. Notice, by the way, Infusionsoft just put this link in here called link account upgrade. Now what happens is if I go ahead and use this, let's go ahead and say save on that. If I come over here and choose FAQ upgrade, look at this. This has this personalized link right here that if I go ahead and I send this reply out, okay, if I send that reply out, I'm going to go take a peek at my email now here. Okay, so how do I pop this out? So if I go ahead and bring this email up, this is my personal email inbox here. And here we go. That's great news. You're looking to upgrade your account. To do so, now notice what happened. Infusionsoft automatically merged in that information such that when I click on that, that URL I made up didn't exist. But what happened is we just actually linked through Infusionsoft and tried to go through to my link. So let's see what happened inside. We now pull up my contact record. And we can see that, look, my contact record now has the tag that I clicked that upgrade link simply by clicking the link. So where might you use this? A customer wants to upgrade them, bring them right to an upgrade form that we can pre-fill in with their information. One area I use this is occasionally we have folks who say, hey, Jeremy, we want to be an affiliate for FuseDesk. How do we go ahead and do that? Well, we have a link, an automation link, that brings folks to our referral partner sign-up page that pre-fills in their first name, last name, that tags they clicked it. So instead of having someone start typing all over again from scratch, it pre-fills the information in, all via the automation links. So this is getting a little, actually this is getting very advanced using the automation links here. So are there any questions on working with automation links in Infusionsoft? If you wouldn't mind going and typing the questions, am I boring you? Is this exciting? Is this powerful? Is this not of interest? Tell me where we're at so I can get a good pulse. Okay, cool. Powerful stuff. Very cool. This is awesome. Thank you, Mary. Exciting, says Shayla. All right. Love this, says Lisa. Good stuff, but off agenda. Thanks, Ben. Sarah says great feature. So cool. In terms of the agenda, I want to make sure we're covering email template best practices. And some of the most powerful ways to use email templates are the automation links like we're just showing. Now, by a quick show of hands, how but yeah, go ahead and raise your hand if you'd want to do a universal footer for your FuseDesk templates or be able to swap out promos across hundreds of templates in one place versus multiple. So if you want centralized control of different promotions and footers, click hand raise. Okay, cool. So we're going to get a little more advanced here for a second, but I got us primed up with that last one. So this is neat. This is using a piece of Infusionsoft, not in the way that it was intended, but in a very beneficial and helpful way. The quick background to this came about because one of our customers, we were managing and helping them out with their FuseDesk application, and we grew to the point we started getting hundreds of templates. And as we're launching a new product line and we're about to create all of our templates for that product line, we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could promote an upcoming event? Wouldn't it be cool if we could have our social media links? Wouldn't it be cool if we could put our customer support hours? Wouldn't it be cool if we could have one place to manage the footer of all of our support templates? So there's a really neat way to do this actually in Infusionsoft. Now, whether you want it to or not, Infusionsoft requires an opt-out link in all of your email templates. It allows you to be CAN spam compliant and allows you to send email to people. Obviously, if somebody opts out or marks you as spam, you shouldn't be emailing them. So to support that, you need to have an opt-out link. Now, if you don't have anything set up, a special opt-out link for your support team, you'll get the default, which is if you no longer wish to receive our emails, click the link below, and it brings them to an opt-out link. However, what I like to do is actually modify that to have a different opt-out link for my support that says something along the lines of, you're receiving this email because you contacted our support team and we're helping you out with your support case. But then we got thinking, if we put that opt-out link in all of our templates, what else could we do with it? So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and pick up our default billing reply template here. And now remember where we just went to the links under merge? We're going to go to the exact same place. We go to merge, we go to links, and now we go to our update/opt-out links. Now notice there's no opt-out link in here right now. Infusionsoft requires one, so what they happily and easily do for you is they automatically add in your default opt-out link. And that's this one right here. You can't delete it because you're required to have it. What if we created a new opt-out link? We simply click on create there, and we can put in for our name. What department am I in here? This is my billing reply template. Okay, so let's go ahead and call this FuseDesk. Looks like I already have that. Let's go ahead and call it FuseDesk footer opt-out. Okay. The type is an opt-out, and now we get to choose what text do we put in there. So see where this has link blurb? What if we put in our specials or our promos? So under our link blurb, we put in March Madness special, get free coffee. We're responding to your support request. If you don't want this, go ahead and opt out. Okay. Now we simply go ahead and save and close that, and we come down here, and we actually go ahead and we insert that link. Now by inserting this link here, what this does is it gives us one little link, and we can always edit the text right here. We simply click on edit, we come back in, and we change this. So come April, we go ahead and say, amazing April awesomeness town. Get your free upgrade on all medium coffees, right? So we go ahead and we put in, whatever our special is. And we go from there. We can also say open Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Follow us on Twitter. Awesome town. Java. There we go. And we put our little footer here, and then our opt-out link. Okay. Now we just modify this in one place, and what happens is we go ahead and we save our template. And if we come back in here, this was our billing reply. I think I put that on. Yeah. And here's our opt-out link. Again, we don't see all that in here, and Fusionsoft will actually take care of merging that for us. Now we send our reply out. And what's going to happen over here is that message will come in here in a second. And when that does, it'll have that special opt-out link merged in. Now, when I go in my template editor, hey, look at that, there's my email. When I actually go ahead and jump into my template editor, well, I'm just going to pull up that email for you guys. There's my second email. Okay. When I go ahead and pull that up, thanks for contacting our billing team. Open Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. All the information we just put in there now shows up in my email response inside of my Gmail. Okay. So what's cool is if we go over to our template editor, and this will be the last part I'll be doing in the template editor today. We go to our template editor, and we select, what was it, our default billing reply. Now, if we go ahead and have billing cancel, billing cancellation, cool. So sorry to hear you want to cancel, right? And we go and we handle it from there. Now notice, since we just cloned the template, the opt-out link sticks. And so as you grow your template base and you create those 10 or 20 templates we're talking about, all of your templates will get this opt-out link. And the powerful thing there is you now go back and in one place, you can go ahead and manage exactly what that link says. Change it month to month, and it changes across all of your templates. So cool. What I'd love to see is, if you wouldn't mind, in the question box, type in what you'd want to have in your footer, whether it be your hours or specials or promos or announcements or anything else. I'd love to see sort of how you plan to use this for your opt-out links. Cool. Richie wants to talk about his specials in there. Very cool. Ben wants to share a promo for the continuity program. Parmi wants to cover his hours. Awesome. Yeah, those are all fantastic uses because occasionally that information changes from time to time, and like nothing stinks more than having to go and change 100 templates. Now you can essentially manage all of that. So cool. Mary will be talking about upcoming events and promos. Chas will be talking about new chapters forming. Awesome. Yeah, for events, by the way, this is actually a really interesting story. When we first checked this out and tried it, we modified we did exactly the technique I just showed you here. This was actually just about a year ago exactly. For a FuseDesk customer we were doing this for, they had an event coming up on May 5th. And so sort of mid-April, we just put our sales page online for the event, and we hadn't yet opened the doors for it. We hadn't sent any emails. There were no links. No one knew the event was going to be taking place yet. But all we did was just drop that little opt-in link in the bottom there, the opt-out link with the announcement of the upcoming event. And within literally minutes of email starting to go back out to customers with just their normal support reply and that one little link in the bottom there, we started seeing paid registrations. This is a paid multi-$100 event. We had paid registrations coming in just from customers who found out about the event only from the email footer because there was no other way to find out about it besides that. A few hours later, we actually put the page online and did all the rest of it, but we had paid orders coming in before we even told anyone about it. And it was just from the email footer. So I would love to see you guys put this into place today, for your templates, so you can start, pulling in upgrades and announcements and everything else automatically from today going forward. Okay, cool. Final few questions here. Parmi asks, can we put any URL in the footer? Absolutely. So if we go back over to my email here, you see I just went ahead and made up a Twitter link here that is available to be in the footer. So you can go ahead and stack up footers. You can say, register for our next event coming to Los Angeles next month, and you go ahead and put a link in, right? You can put any links or any information you want in here. The one you can't change is Infusionsoft's opt-out link, but all we do is we just couch that correctly. We introduce it by saying we're responding to your support request, and just put whatever language you want. You have control of basically everything above that link. Okay, cool. So let's hop back in here and cover our next few items we got. All right, notifications. We rolled out a new notification system about a week or so ago, and we didn't put a big announcement out about it, and this is really the first time you'll be hearing about it. If you didn't happen to just jump over to my preferences, if you didn't happen over there, you wouldn't have seen this. But we quietly rolled this out behind the scenes. We've been testing it, getting some great feedback, and this is the first time we want to share with you what exactly is on this page. Now, preferences, you've always been able to change your time zone, change your default department, but previously you just had two options for notifications. It was, do you want an email when someone assigns a case to you? And do you want a morning email update with, what's happening with all your cases? So what we did is we expanded that. So we're changing our alert system over so it's much more scalable, meaning we can add more kinds of alerts and notifications and more ways to be notified. Right now, the three we have email, an alert, which I'll show you in a moment, and an in-app notification. The ones we plan to be adding down the road are SMS notifications, audio notifications, and additional notifications. But the system we have in place allows us to expand and grow into that. So for now, we have in-app alert and email, and we also added two new notification types. One is when a new email comes into unassigned, and the second is when someone replies to my case. Previously, what happened is you get an email in the morning saying how many cases were assigned to you and you were working on, and you get an email when somebody else assigned a case to you. But your support reps who are in FuseDesk from the moment they arrive until the moment they leave at the end of the day, they're able to stay on top of their cases. But what we found is folks who weren't full-time FuseDesk users, but more were managers who had cases escalated to them, or a business owner who handled like 5% of the cases, they weren't in FuseDesk all day long. They might have an occasional case or two, and they wanted a way to be notified about that. So what we did is we enabled it so if somebody replies to your case, you can get a notification, as well as if an email comes into unassigned, you can get a notification. Now, this can be via email, so you know about it by email, or it can be via in-app or alerts. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. Now, if you're using Chrome, which is my browser of choice, and a browser that supports desktop alerts, you simply go ahead and check off one of the alert options here. And as soon as you have one of those checked off, you have the option here to please authorize desktop alerts. All we do is we click on Enable Desktop Notifications, and you'll notice here that Chrome, built into the browser, asks you, do you want to allow this website to show desktop notifications? You say Allow, and we tell you, excellent, desktop alerts are enabled. So let's go ahead and just update my preferences here. All right, so what does this look like? Well, let's go ahead and check one of these out. Here's a case. Let me go ahead and just respond on back to this. I'll go ahead and reply. And reply. Let's go ahead and send that. Oops. So if I'm over my inbox here, look at that. Cool. Our in-app notifications are this little yellow bar here that pops down telling you Jeremy WP replied to you, view case. And you can now click to view case. The little pop-ups we just saw over here, I have a handful of tabs open, so that's why we got a bunch. Those little pop-up notifications there are the notifications that someone replied back to one of our cases. And that actually shows up and pops up on your desktop. So you can be off of Microsoft Word or somewhere else browsing the web doing something else, and you'll get that pop-up notification like we just saw that came up over here telling you someone's replied to your case. So let's go ahead and do an alert into unassigned. Testing a new blah blah. Test alert me in unassigned. Okay. So I go ahead and I send this out. And here I am. I'm going and I'm looking at my inbox, for example. And I want you to watch the top right of my screen right here, as well as the yellow box over here. And here, an alert came in saying a new email came in from Jeremy and is waiting assignment. I simply click that, and that will go ahead and bring me over to unassigned. Where do we go here? And this brings me to my unassigned view. Okay. The in-app alert is this. This is, again, the yellow bar about new unassigned email. So you can now really start to get notified of all the things you care about, specifically when a new email comes into unassigned, when a case is assigned to you by somebody else, or someone replies to your case. And this makes jumping back and staying on top of your cases much easier. I know, speaking for myself, I've got a great team that handles a lot of the FuseDesk support cases, but I also handle a fair amount when they get escalated to me. And so this allows me to go about my day and get my little pop-up alert letting me know that a case has been replied to or a case has been assigned to me. So, cool. Other questions coming in about the alerts? Great. So Ralph had a question. Does this only work in Chrome or can you use Firefox or IE? Great question. Currently, the in-app alerts, the yellow bar in the email, is supported anywhere and everywhere. The actual desktop alerts is only Chrome. Chrome was one of the first browsers to actually allow that technology to exist to do the pop-ups. Firefox hasn't finalized their standard on how to do that, and IE is like so far behind. So for right now, it's Chrome. The good news is the spring release of Infusionsoft, which previously worked best for your editors in Firefox and IE, ta-da! The new version of Infusionsoft in the spring works in Chrome. All their editors work, so I'm really excited about that. We can finally, get rid of Firefox and IE and keep everything right in Chrome. Cool. So Ben said, very awesome option. Thank you. Parmi asked Safari. Not Safari right now. Somebody asked, should we be running FuseDesk in Chrome? I like to run FuseDesk in Chrome. We test and work in Mozilla perfectly and just fine as well. Those are the two primary browsers that we work with. That right there is the gross majority of the marketplace. So yeah, FuseDesk works great in Chrome or Firefox. So cool. Any other questions on our new alerts? All right. Cool. And by the way, if you have other questions sort of off topic here that you're looking for us to cover today, if we can tie it into what we're talking about, I'll make sure we cover it. And if not, we'll make sure we get back to you after the call as well. As well as if you've got a best practice or something else, we'd love to hear about those. If you're doing something really cool based on what we're talking about, we always love that feedback. So cool. Let's move on to our next point here. Ratings and feedback. All right. By quick show of hands, who's wanted a way to find out how well you took care of a customer and to see if they liked your response and if you took care of them? So go ahead and raise your hand if you've wanted a way to get feedback in on your cases from your customers. Yeah, so have we. One of the reasons we built FuseDesk was to give us insights into how well our team is doing on handling support cases. We track things like how long it takes to open a case, to resolve a case, to assign a case, and a lot of those metrics. But we haven't had a way actually to bring the customer's feedback in and actually start finding out how well your customers think you're doing. And so one of the ways that we like to do our development is we get our feedback from customers. So, by the way, if you haven't been, we highly encourage you to, if you have an idea, to use a little purple box on the side here, which says got an idea, and suggest your ideas as well as vote on existing ideas. We get feedback from there about new ideas as well as just the conversations we have with our customers out in the field. So what we like to do is get an idea of what our customers are looking for and see when there's a need in the marketplace. And we've got a few other qualifiers that we look for. And once it's there, we start to flush the idea out. We start interviewing our customers. We start talking to them, finding out what it is you're looking for. And we use that to formalize a better idea of what the feature set should be. And we then move forward and we put together a mock-up and we start getting feedback on that. And then we move forward, start implementing it and get feedback on that. And then we roll it out. And this can be a very rapid process, but it allows us to roll out new features and updates without going really far off track and creating something our customers don't need. So the ratings and feedback system we built in exactly that way. At InfusionCon, we had a chance to actually sit down with and meet with a lot of our longtime customers and share with them some of the ideas of what we're working on and find out how can we do this and do it the right way. So we learned what you were looking for in terms of a feeding and a rating and feedback system. And we put together our mock-ups, recorded a short video, and sent that out. So what I'd like to do is just show you the mock-ups we put together for how our feedings and feedback system, our ratings and feedback system would work, and then show you sort of what it looks like today as we've started to actually build it out and roll it out. So the idea is we want to keep this super simple. So when your customers are rating your feedback, they'll go to a page which looks as simple as this. It's basically asking, how did we do? Your feedback's important to us. Rep name on our team helped you out. How well did Bob help you? Right? This is a 1 through 5-star rating. And as soon as they go ahead and as they mouse over, it'll show different things. For example, Bob did well. I wasn't wowed though, or Bob was fantastic, or we're kind of disappointed. and they're able to get that rating. And as soon as I actually click the star and rate that, that's going to go ahead and pop up the little box here to actually provide more feedback and actually send that feedback in. So the two pieces of data we're collecting are the 1 through 5 star, as well as the feedback about how that actual case was handled with that particular rep. Now, if they choose a star but don't submit feedback, we still capture at least that rating. This is one of our ways of gathering an initial little piece of feedback, which is the rating, without making folks feel like, I don't want to fill out a text box. I'll come back to this later. Okay. Now, we looked at sort of 4 different use cases of how FuseDesk customers would use this with your own customers, and we identified sort of 4 different cases, right? One is, I don't want to ask for feedback automatically. Don't do it. 2 is, we want to use the default out-of-the-box system, which is exactly like we have here, which is, use the default template we create for you and everything else. 3rd use case is you want to customize and modify the email template to set the stage for the feedback correctly. And the 4th is you want us to automatically handle your feedback, but you want to send it off to your own SurveyMonkey or somewhere else or your own third-party system to track all your data. For our purposes, we care about a number rating as well as the feedback, so you can review this inside of FuseDesk. But you're also welcome to use feedback systems outside of that. So in terms of the options, we want to look at, what options do we need? So within a department, we said, all right, well, we want to enable you to ask for feedback never or after 1 day or 2 days after it closes, 3 days, etc. So that way you can choose after a case has been closed and resolved, if it hasn't been reopened for, say, 2 days, go ahead and ask for feedback. We also realized that you probably don't want to ask every single customer for feedback every single time because that can be a little overwhelming and annoying. You may just want a sample set, right? So we allow you to choose your sample set for what percentage of cases do you want to actually ask for feedback on. Then lastly, we let you choose your template so you can actually go ahead and edit that and modify it from there. Okay. Then what happens is, let's say we chose to ask for feedback after 2 days, right? We choose 2 days, and a case has been closed for 2 days. We check, we randomize and say, all right, if this has a 1 in 5 chance of asking for feedback, and if it does, we go ahead and we send the template out. So you can actually go ahead and edit your template. And so, we'll create a default template, and this is just rough text. We haven't used this yet. How do we do recently? Bob helped you out with the case. We'd like to know how we did. Please take a quick moment and rate how well we did here, right? We'll have better language. This is just our rough sketch. And we send the email out. And of course, you'll be able to come in here, edit, and change that. Okay? Then once the rating comes back in, we've got a few different ways we've got to actually show that. So when we're actually looking at a case, we'll be able to see if the case is still open. We'll show you that there's a 20% chance of requesting feedback 2 days after resolution. Move this up here. We'll show a 20% chance of requesting feedback 2 days after resolution. And you can also say, you know what, on this case, I don't want to ask for feedback, and click a button saying, just don't ask for feedback. Or once you've, the case has been closed, and we're now on a countdown to the 2 days after, we'll say, okay, 20% chance of requesting feedback on, date. And we can say, you can go ahead and say, you know what, just go ahead and ask the feedback right now. Maybe you're a manager reviewing the case, you're like, I don't want to wait, I want to know right now. Click ask now. Or again, say, we don't want feedback from this customer for whatever reason. Okay. Once feedback has been requested automatically, we'll go ahead and show you that when the feedback was requested. At the point the customer actually submitted feedback and chose their stars, we go ahead and show your star rating here, 1 through 5 stars. And if they did leave feedback, we go ahead and show feedback below that. Cool. Make sense so far? Looking good? Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and actually take a look at, this was the mock-up. We sent this out, got feedback from our customers, and I modified from there. By the way, if you're interested in sort of, beta testing new features or giving us our feedback or having some one-on-one calls with me from time to time as we're doing our planning of new features, just send an email to us at support@fusedesk.com and just say, Jeremy, I want to be a beta tester. Let us know, and as we're looking to roll new features out, we'd love to keep you in the loop and actually ask you about those. So just email support@fusedesk.com if you want to be on that list. So cool. Let's look at what this is actually like in practice here. Well, one thing we have is this is on one of our staging servers. So you'll see here we have feedback, and it shows you, since this is a closed case, the status is closed, we're on a countdown timer, and it says 33% chance of requesting feedback on Wednesday. I have my options to ask now or don't ask. So if I go ahead and click on the Ask Now button, what that'll do is it'll say, great, feedback request sent, an email will have been sent off to me and actually asking me for my feedback. And when I come back to this page at some later date, it'll actually go ahead and show me that feedback is not in yet. But hey, look at that. Hey, Jeremy, recently Lori helped you out with the support request. I got the email. So it shows feedback not in yet, but it was requested today at 10:58 a.m. Okay. Our next sort of screen that you might see is when the feedback's been requested. Now let's go ahead and say a customer did submit just the star rating. It shows you that they rated 3 stars and it was right on Sunday 11 a.m. Or if they have actual feedback, it goes ahead and shows here, well done, Lori was superb. Was a superb help, and I loved how on the ball she was. The case took a bit longer to resolve than I would have liked, but all in all, she did great. And there's your feedback. Down the road, we'll also give you reporting, of course, to allow you to view customer satisfaction trends over time, customer satisfaction by rep, by department, and all those different metrics and numbers, as well as a report to actually just view all feedback as it's coming in. We're also building in support for notifications like we just showed. So what you can do is you can say, notify me when someone submits feedback for me. Okay. Cool. So I'm just looking at some of the questions and ideas coming in. So thank you, Andy. We'll cover that in just one second. So that's what that looks like there. Now you might be asking, well, Jeremy, how do we configure the options? You ready for this? Drum roll. We have a new, completely overhauled departments editor, which is really powerful. This is not rolled out yet, nor is that feedback and rating system. These will both be rolled out at the same time, and probably within the next week we'll have this stuff rolled out. We'd love to get your feedback and testing on that. So if we go into the departments editor, just to give you a side-by-side, currently your department editor looks something like this. We go ahead and we have listed here your default department. We have who's in each department, and you can choose your default reply template. This system works pretty well when we just have 3 options: default, who's in it, and default template, right? But as we want to add the additional options, we realized this wouldn't scale or grow. So we overhauled our editor so it looks more like this. The new department editor that you'll be seeing, and again, this is not live in your app yet, you'll be seeing this soon, is you have a very simple, quick view here to set your default department for new reps. We go ahead and change that, sets that behind the scenes. And then secondly, we show you here are your departments, and here's who is in each department. Very easy, because mostly what we manage day to day are the reps in our departments. But all we do is we click to edit a department, and now we get all of our options. We can choose who's in each department, so we can say all current and future reps. We can also now, this is new, choose your default template category. So we had the question earlier of how do I set my default template category to make life easier for my reps? Well, right here you could choose, this is my billing department. I'll say billing is my default template category. I can choose my default template. Instead of scrolling through a list here, I can simply go ahead and do a text search. So we might do reply. Let's do billing. Yeah, default billing reply template. I go ahead and choose that there. We also now have the option for you to modify your color coding. For quite a while, folks wondered, hey, Jeremy, is there a way we can have in one of my departments that we set the color change time from green to yellow and yellow to red? We want that real tight. We want that, 1 hour and 3 hours, right? But for our other department, well, our dev team takes longer, so we want that to be, 180 and, 360. So you can now actually choose on a department by department basis how long a case can sit before going from green to yellow and from yellow to red. Very, very cool new feature that, again, will be pushed out with this update. And then we have our feedback settings here. Now, our feedback, by default, when we roll this out, will be never ask for feedback. But you can come into a department, edit it, and actually turn on when to ask for feedback. So you might say, after 3 days, I want to ask for feedback. And I want to ask for feedback on 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever, of our cases. And here's a template I want to go ahead and use to ask for feedback. Now, these are all the new options you'll see in the department editor. Would love your feedback as I'm going through all this, because this is like a lot of new stuff I just threw on you in the last few minutes of our call. All the stuff coming out on the department basis. Our next release that you'll be seeing in the next week or two supports everything you see here. This is actually not a mock-up. This is live in-app. So you can actually play with this stuff on our staging servers. So in addition, with that new template editor I just shared with you, we have the ability to actually edit our templates right here by clicking the edit button. So we'll go ahead and save our changes. And this jumps over here, and now I'm just going in and actually editing my template right away. Okay? And I come back over here, brings me right back to my department editor, where it has all of our reps. And you can see as we update stuff live on the fly here, it actually shows all current future reps and it actually has everything listed right there. So awesome. Any questions on the feedback settings or the feedback system? Would love your feedback on that. Go ahead and just type that in the question box. As well as any questions, thoughts, suggestions, or comments on our new departments editor that we have here, as well as the options I just dropped down here about how I'll be handling this. So cool, we're getting some feedback. Nice, so cool. We're loving it. Great job, thank you. Appreciate that. Good. Question was, be nice to allow some cases. Which ones to ask for feedback on? Yeah, we can actually, you can turn that on or off like we're showing on this screen here. One of our previous ones we were just showing, you actually had the ability to, we requested feedback so it went away, but you have a button to don't ask for feedback or ask for feedback now. And that way you can turn off feedback for certain cases versus others. So good question on that. Good. So in terms of the items we want to cover today, we want to cover your questions and best practices. As we were talking, we covered our questions as we went. We showed you the FuseDesk and WordPress integration, so you can have your customers contact you as well as view their cases in WordPress. We went over the new template editor, as well as some of our email template best practices and cool tricks. We talked about the universal footers and promos, and I already have a handful of folks here who committed to actually putting that in place today, so I want to hear how that goes. We also just shared with you the new notification system already live and in your app right now, as well as you got a sneak peek at our new ratings and feedback system that is live on our staging servers, and you can take a peek at it if you want to. Just ask. We'll show you how to look at that. And that should be rolling out in the next week or so, along with a bonus, and every mention we'd be talking about today is all the new department options we have rolling out with our next release coming up very shortly here. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us today. And what I would love is your feedback. If you wouldn't mind just in your questions box there, letting me know what you thought about today's call and what sort of your biggest takeaway was. I always like to know what was the big takeaway, what's your next step, what's your next action. So please do share in the comments, the question box right here, really your biggest takeaway and what you love from today. So as those takeaways are coming in, I'll just let you guys know that we do these calls from time to time. And what I would suggest is, as your reps and your team are logging in and using FuseDesk, what they can do is they'll be on our list to be notified about these webinars. And if you want to access previous ones, all you do from inside your application is you click on the help icon right here. And you can even go ahead and just search for MasterMind. And as soon as you do, you'll find replays from some of our previous MasterMind calls. And this one will be up there shortly as well, so you can catch some past ones. So, all right, let's see some of the cool takeaways. Keep them coming in. I love this stuff. This fuels me up for our next calls. All right. So Sarah gave us some feedback. I just signed up, and this was really helpful to get to know the solution. Awesome. Mary said, great info. Looking forward to using those frequently asked questions and the landing pages and footer. Fantastic. Thank you. Andy said, very helpful session. Thanks, Jeremy. The universal footer idea is great, and we'll use it to request a call from a custom sales rep. Nice. Nice. Andy, let me know when you got that in place. Very cool. Amber said, love the template editor. So important. Thank you. Ben said, great call. Love the updated department view and footer trick. That'll be huge for monetizing support. Yes. If your support team isn't making you money, something's wrong there, and we can help you fix that. So if you're the business owner or support member and you're thinking, I don't think our support team makes us money, reach out to us. There are so many ways your support team can be a profit center in your business. Awesome. Denise said the email template universal footers were the biggies. Thank you. Thanks. Chris said great information. Looking forward to new features. Awesome, man. You'll see those soon. Farrah said looking forward to the next one. Love the footer info. Thank you. David, thank you. You said love it all. And yeah, the feedback keeps coming in. I love it. If you haven't shared your biggest takeaway, please do that in the questions box. I love that. And with that, thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to seeing you on our next FuseDesk Customer Mastermind call, where we'll share the latest, newest features and updates, interesting tricks and tactics you can use, as well as this is your place for the behind the scenes sneak peeks of the cool stuff we got going on. So thank you so much. This is Jeremy Shapiro with FuseDesk, and we'll see you next time.